Hey, everybody, guess what? So this happened, and what does that mean? Everybody's wanting to know what that means. Well, what that means is hopefully this is going to happen, that the donkey is dead, and it's been killed by the corporate donors. It did. They still, by the way, really quickly, the Democrats, I think, are already learning the wrong lesson from the Donald Trump presidency. Certainly the media is. What happened? What happened was the Democrats, and it's just as simple as I can put it, the Democrats became Republicans. Bill Clinton got in bed with Wall Street, Big Pharma, fossil fuels, and Silicon Valley. And they turned their back on the workers. And this is the effect. Hillary Clinton went after Republicans. She didn't go after unions. She didn't go after progressives. She didn't go after us at all. This is from a story I did on August 10th of this year. And I was talking about the horrible strategies that the Democrats are now. They're full-fledged Republicans. So this is from August 10th. Chuck Schumer was saying this. This is their strategy wasn't to go after progressives. Their strategy wasn't to go after workers or unions or whatever. This was their strategy, was to go after Republicans. Chuck Schumer said, for every blue-collar Democrat we lose in Western Pennsylvania, we will pick up 2 or 3 moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philadelphia. That's their plan. Their plan was to get more Republicans to vote for them. Well, why not just run in the Republican Party? He goes on, the voters who are most out there figuring out what to do are not blue-collar Democrats because they got nowhere to go. Is that what you thought, Chuck? They are the college-educated Republicans or independents who lean Republican in the suburbs. That's who Chuck Schumer likes. That's who he's most comfortable around. That's who the Democrats are comfortable around now. They're the party of Wall Street and Silicon Valley. And this is the result. I'll give you one more thing. This is from Washington's blog. And it says, here's the stat I really want to get to. 38% of all American workers made less than $20,000 last year. That's almost 4 out of 10 workers made less than $20,000. Almost 4 out of 10 workers in America, richest country, face of the earth has ever seen. 51% of all American workers made less than $30,000 last year. 51%. 62% of all American workers made less than $40,000 last year. And 71% of all American workers made less than $50,000 last year. And so what does that mean? Well, how did Hillary Clinton really lose? So this is the problem. And Hillary Clinton didn't have a message to those people. Her message was Trump's in Russia. He's a Russian. He's in bed with Putin. Trump, Russia. What? Oh, he's deplorable. He's bad. He's sexist. He's what? Yeah, I get it. So this was never addressed. And how did she lose Michigan and Wisconsin? First of all, 7 million less voters this year. Exactly as I predicted, not to pack myself in the back. But I was like, I'm pretty sure this will be the lowest voter turnout in a while. It was. Barack Obama had less voters in 2012 than he had in 2008 because a lot of people got hip to his corporatism. And in 2016, less voters than in 2012. Donald Trump got less votes than Mitt Romney, and he still beat Hillary Clinton. Here's what happened in Wisconsin and Michigan. In Michigan, Wayne County, Detroit, basically, Obama got 596,000 votes. Hillary Clinton got 467,000 votes. That was 129,000 less votes in Detroit. Hillary Clinton got then Barack Obama. They didn't come out for her. They didn't come out. That was it's a statewide margin. When I put this together at 3 a.m. was 61,000. In Wisconsin, Obama in 2012 had 3. And by the way, in 2012, his votes were suppressed. They weren't as big as they were in 2008. In 2012, Obama got 332,000 votes in Milwaukee. Clinton, in this year, got almost 100,000 less votes. Almost a third less votes in Milwaukee. The statewide margin in Wisconsin was 73,000. There you go. There you go, right there. The people in the cities, I'm going to say probably African Americans, weren't going to vote for her. So 13,225 votes that Trump beat. That's the margin of victory for him in Michigan.
Against Hillary, yes.
And look at that, 129,000 less votes in Detroit. There you go. There's your victory.
Yeah.
How about Wisconsin? What's the final tally? What's his final margin of victory in Wisconsin? 27,000 votes in Wisconsin. Trump won by.
Yep.
She was down 95,000 votes just in Milwaukee alone. The turnout in 2012 for Obama, 65.9 million people. 2016, Clinton got 59.1 million. That's 6.8 million less votes than Barack Obama. That's a lot of less votes. Romney got 60.9 votes, and Trump got less votes than him and still won. He got almost 2 million less votes. So the vote was suppressed. People did not get off the couch to go vote for Hillary Clinton. And that's what happens. You know, Howard Dean in 2003, you want to know why half the country doesn't vote? Because you have to give them something to vote for. Here's a little bit more. White men, 35% for Obama, 31% for Clinton. So it wasn't. So actually more white guys voted for a black guy than voted for a white woman. Clinton got just 37% of the white vote. Obama got 39% of the white vote. And here's David Axelrod, who's the campaign genius of Barack Obama's. This is what he said in February. When the exact same problems crop up in separate campaigns with different staff, at what point did the principal say, hey, maybe it's us? So I just wanted to, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what happened. She's possibly the worst politician in the history of our country. She first lost to a black guy in 2008, and then she lost to Donald Trump 8 years later. It's no secret what happened. We was telling you this over and over. She wasn't coming for our vote. She's going for Republicans. And when American people are given the choice between a Republican and a Republican, they choose the Republican every time. She suppressed the vote of her own people. She did it in the primary. The people who were most enthused just let it go. By the way, same thing Barack Obama did when he won the first time, 2008, he had this huge coalition, all these people ready to do something, and he just disbanded them. He didn't do anything with them. And a lot of people talked about it at the time. Not a lot of people, but some people. So that's what happened. And the Democrats aren't going to, I just predict they're not going to. So where do we go from here? Okay, so here's what a guy who writes I like. His name is Sam Chris. He says, she decided it was her turn and it was hers by right. She knew that she was electoral poison, that vast swaths of the country hated her and for good reason, that she was compromised by a miserable record spotted with sleaze and criminality, that she alienated the left, inflamed the right, and appealed mostly to a small coterie of sexually repressed and pathologically centrist think tank nerds. Let me read that to you again. She appealed mostly to a small coterie of sexually repressed and pathologically centrist think tank nerds. That her entire constituency was made of limp cardboard and backlogged semen. That her candidacy raised the serious possibility of a Republican victory when anyone else would have beaten that divided and frothing party into insignificance with one head tied behind their back. But she ran anyway. She knew all that, and she ran anyway. But it's not enough, he goes on. If only the problem was too many bigots. The whole election collapses into a question of tribes and demographics, and you don't have to think about why Clinton lost. Because that's what people are doing now. They're going, oh, it's racism and sex. So if you do that, you don't have to really look at the real reasons why Hillary Clinton won. Trump won among voters who ticked the box for Obama in 2008 and 2012. So people who voted for Obama then vote. So a lot of them voted for Trump. Whoa, isn't that wild? He won decisively among white women. Trump did. He picked up far bigger share of ethnic minority voters than anyone would have reasonably expected. He won because the standard formula of American liberalism, which is eternal war abroad, coupled with rationally administered dispossession at home, and an ethic centered on where people should be allowed to piss and shit, is a toxic and unlovable ideology. And his candidacy turned it from an invisible consensus to one option among others. Clinton decided as the vast country fumed bitterly for something different, anything, that she would actively court the approval of a few hundred policy wonks. Clinton all but outrightly told vast swaths of the American working classes that they were irrelevant, that she didn't need them and they would be left behind by history, and then expected them to come out and vote for her anyway. Clinton was playing at politics. It was big. It was a big and important game, but it could be fun too. It was entertainment. It was a play of personalities. They forgot the trashy reality show always gets the highest ratings. So here's one more thing I'll read to you. It says the fascisms of Europe in the 20s, 30s, or East Asia in the 50s and 60s, or Latin America in the 70s and 80s, were all the response of a capitalist order to the terrifying potency of the organized working class. Fascism is what capitalism does when it's under threat. Something always latent, but extending in claws when it's time to fight. It imitates mass movements while never really having the support of the masses. So fascism is what capitalism does when it's under threat. Look what's happening in North Dakota. Look what they did to Occupy Wall Street. And here's what our friend Thomas Frank, who wrote Listen Liberal, says. She was the Democratic candidate because it was her turn and because a Clinton victory would have moved every Democrat in Washington up one notch. Whether or not she would win was always a secondary matter, something that was taken for granted. Had winning been the party's number one concern, several more suitable candidates were ready to go. There's Joe Biden with his powerful, plain-spoken style, and there was Bernie Sanders, an inspiring and largely scandal-free figure. Each of them would probably have beaten Trump, but neither of them would really have served the interests of the party insider. The American white-collar class just spent the year... So anyway, he ends by saying the even larger problem is that there is a kind of chronic complacency that has been rotting American liberalism for years. A hubris that tells Democrats they need to do nothing different. They need deliver nothing really to anyone except their friends on the Google jet and those nice people at Goldman Sachs. The rest of us are treated as though we have nowhere else to go and no role to play except to vote enthusiastically on the grounds that these Democrats are the last thing standing between us and the end of the world. It is a liberalism of the rich. It has failed the middle class, and now it has failed on its own terms of electability. Meaning the whole reason Al Gore and Bill Clinton moved the party to the right, and then Barack Obama kept it going and Hillary Clinton, is that they wanted to be electable. That's the whole point. We got to move to the right to be elected. That's what Democrats always say and do. We got to move to the right. We got to reach out. We got to be more conservative so we can get elected. So now they're 100% Republican, and the whole reason for doing that has been upended. It's been disproven by this election. It has failed on its own terms of electability. So what's going to happen going forward?